Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec, back with another video for you guys. But before we get into it, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below on your thoughts and opinions on the article and the information discussed, all that good stuff. And of course, as always, I will have the link to the articles and other links in the description section below. Anyway, let's get into it. Got an article here from The Verge. Former Uber security chief found guilty of covering up massive 2016 data breach. Prosecutors claim Joe Sullivan hid details of a hack that stole info of more than 57 million people to protect Uber's reputation and his own, despite informing then CEO Travis Kalanick of the breach and eventual payouts. All right, it sounds pretty darn crazy. I mean, if you've been paying attention to cybersecurity news, you would already be aware that this breach did happen back in 2016, and it was a big deal. And they later discovered that, a lot of important information wasn't shared with the proper authorities and such. And there's like a huge cover up and et cetera, et cetera. And this is the result of that chaos that ensued. Former Uber chief security officer Joe Sullivan has been found guilty of charges that he covered up a 2016 cyber attack where a hacker downloaded the personal information of more than 57 million people. The information stolen from Uber includes names, email addresses, and phone numbers for more than 50 million Uber riders and 7 million drivers, as well as driver's license numbers for another 600,000 drivers. That is a lot of people. See, reported by New York Times and Washington Post, the jury convicted Sullivan on two accounts, one for obstructing justice by not revealing the breach to the FTC and another for misprision, which is concealing a felony from the authorities. Say he would have got wire fraud, they dismissed those charges. Hack itself was ascribed to prosecution. The original complaint is almost exactly mirrored the 2014 breach of Uber. So apparently Uber did not learn their lesson from the previous breach in 2014. All right, trial began, blah, blah, blah. Former members of Lapsus ransomware group. Okay. 2016 breach occurred when two outsiders trawling GitHub found credentials, giving them access to Uber's Amazon Web Services AWS storage, which they used to download its database backups. Hackers then contacted Uber and negotiated ransom payment in exchange for a promise to delete the stolen information, paid out $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, treated as part of the company's bug banning program. They eventually pleaded guilty to hacking the company in 2019. Wow, that is that is pretty crazy. Okay, first off, why do you have credentials just on GitHub where anybody can just get to it, and especially to something that's very critical to the organization like cloud when it comes to AWS? I mean, I had direct access to AWS storage using those credentials they found on GitHub. That's just really dumb, bad cyber hygiene there. On top of that, when the hackers had contacted Uber saying, hey, yeah, we hacked you guys and we want to negotiate some kind of payment. In return, we'll delete this information that we stole from you guys. And this information contains all kinds of sensitive information. So you may want to give us money in return and give us money in Bitcoin on top of that. And then the cover up came in to obviously try to protect the company's reputation. Like, okay, maybe we can just sweep this under the rug and this won't hit national news headlines, but apparently that was not the case. Anyway, let's get back to the article. As the Time notes, this is believed to be the first time a company executive faced criminal prosecution over a hack. Sullivan's conviction could change how companies that quietly pay ransoms to hackers respond to incidents. The prosecutor showed the evidence. Sullivan shared details of the hack and payment with then Uber CEO Travis Kalanick, as well as the company's chief privacy lawyer. They also claimed he didn't reveal it to Uber's general counsel and said that later he didn't expose the true scope of the incident to its new CEO, Dara, whatever his last name is. I'm not going to try to butcher that. But anyway, all right, so he did disclose it to parties internally, but it sounds like he had sugarcoated the actual incident and the severity of the incident. And obviously, these guys had testified against him and told the jury, they told the courtroom what the real deal was. Hey, we didn't get the full scoop of this incident, so our hands are pretty much clean of this. This is all on this guy. Here's our scapegoat, basically. Bloomberg reports that prosecutors argued Sullivan didn't reveal the attack to protect his reputation, as well as he was supposed to have improved Uber security after joining the company in 2015. It also reported that Sullivan faces up to 8 years in prison, but it's likely to have a far shorter sentence. Yeah, I mean, stuff like this happens. he's probably not going to get maxed out on these sentences. Maybe he'll get, I think he'll maybe get maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, and then the rest will probably be like probation or something. Okay. See, Uber eventually fired Sullivan, publicly admitting the breach, paid 148 million in civil litigation over the breach to all 50 states, and settled its case with the prosecutors this past July. So it took that long to get everything settled with that breach in 2016. See, promising full cooperation in the criminal case against Sullivan on September 16th, testified against him, saying he was my chief security officer and I could not trust his judgment anymore. Wow. See, in cybersecurity, well, just in life in general, if you don't have any type of, integrity or ethics, or if you have a lot of, I guess, muddy water or gray area when it comes to that, it could highly affect your career and people you interact with. I mean, if you don't have integrity and good ethics, good moral compass, and cybersecurity, like, good luck trying to find a job. Now, there have been people out there that have been former black hat hackers and turned over a new leaf and are now able to get good jobs and such. But just take this example as, please have good ethics, good, moral standing, good moral compass, all that's good stuff. All right. Don't try to cover up things that you shouldn't be covering up. Do the right thing even when no one's looking. Like, learn from the mistakes of others, especially in this case. And I hope this does change things when it comes to dealing with data breaches, because I know there are companies out there that don't disclose their data breaches publicly and such. They try to sweep things under the rug to protect the organization's reputation or to protect their own, personal reputation, what have you. Uber cut a deal with FTC, promising to maintain privacy program for 20 years and to report to the FTC any incident reported to other government agencies relating to unauthorized intrusion into individuals' consumer information. Sullivan's lawyers argued that his actions were taken to prevent a leak of users' data, that he informed the CEO and others who weren't charged for the incident, and that his team eventually identified the hackers and got them to sign NDAs under their real names, promising not to leak information, statement, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Sullivan's sole focus in this incident and throughout his distinguished career has been ensuring the safety of people's personal data on the internet. Now, it is kind of jacked up that those other executives, management weren't charged in this, even though they were informed. But I mean, who really knows what went down? Maybe he did tell them the full scope of it, and these guys are just trying to cover their own butts, saying that no, he didn't tell us the full details. But this comes back to having proper documentation of stuff like this that happened. So if you have it in writing, you can possibly present that in a courtroom or to proper authorities, proper parties, what have you, so that stuff like this doesn't happen to you. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, if you got any type of information from the video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below your thoughts and opinions on the information shared. This is a pretty good article, pretty big deal in the cybersecurity space, and I'm eager to see what happens in the future when it comes to disclosing data breaches to the public. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.